There is something deeply wrong with the way we have been taught to think about cavities. And the proof has been sitting right in front of us for decades, hiding in plain sight, buried inside the very products we use every single morning to protect our oral health. Here is the question nobody seems to be asking. If brushing twice a day actually worked, why do so many people who brush religiously still end up in the dentist's chair year after year with new cavities? Why do people who gave up sugar switch to fluoride toothpaste and followed every single piece of advice their dentist ever gave them, still watch their teeth deteriorate slowly, relentlessly, one filling at a time? The official answer is that you are not brushing correctly, or not long enough, or not using the right product. But that answer has never actually solved the problem for most people. And if you are watching this video, chances are you already know that. So what is really happening inside your mouth? What is the real reason cavities keep coming back no matter what you do? The answer starts with something your dentist almost certainly never mentioned. Your mouth is not just a collection of teeth and gums. It is a living ecosystem, a complex, dynamic community of billions of microorganisms that scientists call the oral microbiome. These are not invaders. They are residents. They have lived inside the human mouth for hundreds of thousands of years. And they play roles so critical to oral health that our bodies cannot function properly without them. They transport minerals from saliva directly into the enamel to strengthen teeth. They carry molecular oxygen to nourish the gums. They regulate the acidity levels of the mouth, keeping the environment at a balance that prevents decay. They are, in every meaningful sense, the immune system of your mouth. And for most of human history, they thrived. Researchers who have examined 2,500-year-old teeth buried in mud for centuries, with no toothbrush, no toothpaste, no dentist, have found remarkably intact enamel, with far fewer signs of decay than what we see in the average adult today. That is not a coincidence. It is a clue. The question is, what changed? The answer to that question is where this investigation takes a turn that most people are not prepared for. Because the culprit, the real reason cavities keep coming back, the reason your oral health never quite recovers no matter how hard you try, is not sugar. It is not genetics. It is not even poor brushing technique. It is the very products you use every day to clean your teeth. Tens of published studies have documented what many major oral care brands have spent decades trying to obscure. Standard toothpastes, the ones lining every pharmacy shelf, are formulated with a class of chemicals that do not just remove plaque, they destroy the oral microbiome. Sodium lauryl sulfate, the foaming agent used in most commercial toothpastes, was originally developed as an industrial detergent. It does not distinguish between the biofilm it is supposed to remove and the living communities of beneficial bacteria your oral health depends on. It wipes everything out indiscriminately, the bad and the good. Synthetic fluoride compounds alter the acidity levels of the mouth, shifting the environment toward conditions where harmful organisms thrive and healing bacteria struggle to survive. And chlorhexidine, the active ingredient in most mouthwashes, has been shown in clinical studies to thoroughly eliminate beneficial oral bacteria that regular users experience measurably higher blood pressure as a direct result. What this means, in practical terms, is that every time you brush and rinse with conventional products, you are pouring bleach into a garden and then wondering why nothing grows. The good bacteria try to repopulate, but they are outnumbered, outcompeted, and chemically suppressed day after day. The oral microbiome never gets a chance to recover. And without that microbial community in place, without those billions of protective organisms doing the jobs evolution designed them to do, your teeth are completely exposed. There is nothing left to remineralize the enamel, nothing to regulate the acidity levels, nothing to keep the harmful organisms that cause decay from multiplying unchecked. This is the scientific explanation for why cavities keep coming back. Not bad luck, not genetics, not willpower. A destroyed ecosystem. This is also why periodontal disease has become one of the most widespread chronic conditions in the modern world, affecting nearly half of all adults over 30. According to data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, The standard model of dental care treats periodontal disease as a bacterial problem to be solved with more antibiotics, more scaling, more aggressive chemical intervention. But research published in the Journal of the American Dental Association has reached a very different conclusion. Periodontal disease is not caused by the presence of bad bacteria. It is caused by the absence of good ones. And every conventional dental product on the market makes that absence worse. Leave a comment below telling us where you are watching from. And if you know someone who has been going through this cycle of cavities and dental treatments that never seem to end, share this video with them. It might change the way they think about their oral health forever. Now, once you understand that the real problem is a depleted oral microbiome, the solution becomes almost self-evident. You do not need more chemicals. You need to rebuild the ecosystem that the chemicals destroyed. And the science of how to do that has advanced considerably in recent years. Driven in large part by research into oral probiotics, specific strains of beneficial bacteria that have been shown in clinical trials to recolonize the oral environment, inhibit the growth of decay-causing organisms, and restore the biological conditions that allow teeth and gums to genuinely heal. This is a field that researchers at institutions including São Paulo State University, the University of Otago in New Zealand, and Harvard University have been studying with growing urgency. And the findings are consistent. Oral probiotics delivered directly to the oral cavity, not swallowed in pill form. Where stomach acid destroys the vast majority of live cultures before they ever reach the mouth but dissolved slowly, contact with the saliva, where the bacterial strains can activate, colonize, and begin doing their work immediately, represent a genuinely different approach to oral health. Not a treatment for symptoms, a restoration of the underlying system. Clinical studies on specific strains like Lactobacillus reuteri have demonstrated an 86% inhibition of harmful bacterial reproduction. Lactobacillus paracasei has shown measurable reductions in the Streptococcus mutans colonies, responsible for converting dietary sugars into the acids that erode enamel, the direct mechanism behind most cavities. Bifidobacterium lactis has been shown to accelerate gum pocket closure and support the reattachment of gum tissue to tooth surfaces. These are not marginal effects. They are the kind of results that help explain why, outside of the mouth, a tooth can survive for thousands of years, and why, inside a mouth with a healthy, thriving oral microbiome, it can do something remarkably similar. The most effective delivery format for these oral probiotic strains is one that keeps them in contact with the saliva long enough to activate fully, a slow-dissolving format that reaches every corner of the oral cavity before being swallowed, seeding not just the mouth, but the respiratory and digestive tracts with beneficial bacteria at the same time. The research behind this approach has now moved well beyond theory. It is documented, it is reproducible, and it is the foundation of a genuinely new model for protecting oral health. One built not on chemical suppression, but on biological restoration. If you want to learn more about how to restore your oral microbiome and stop the cycle of cavities for good, the link is in the first pinned comment below.